It's Friday, July 13th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we get tips for vacationing with your pets, learn more about Swim and Safety Week, and hear the sweet sounds of summer. First, let's start with some news you can use. Cape Cod Community College officials plan to replace the college's Science and Engineering building with a new facility within the next 3.5 years with the aid of $25 million in state bond funds. The $25 million going to Cape Cod Community College is included in a $950 million dedicated to Massachusetts higher education. The community college in West Barnstable must raise additional funds, up to $13 million, to complete the project. The plan is for the new Science and Engineering building to be constructed next to the existing science building and lecture halls in a phased construction process designed to minimize disruption to classes and laboratories. College officials said the project is expected to take 3 to 3.5 years to complete. Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis joined us in studio to talk about keeping our pets safe while on vacation. Do your pets like to travel? Mine do. With me today, Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis. We're going to talk a little bit about how to prepare your pet for travel or how to prepare your pet when you're traveling to a new place. Charlie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's an exciting topic.
It is, and I think it's one that's needed. There is a Facebook group out there called Cape Cod Missing Pets. And a lot of what we're seeing right now are pets that have come here on vacation and gotten lost.
Yes, it's always very, very traumatic for the individual that owns the animal, but there are things they can do to help themselves along the way.
So how do you prepare a family to travel with their pet?
Well, the first thing is identification. You want to have your home address, and you want to have a cell phone number that is very accurate, and you also want to take and have an address tag made up special of where you're going. If you're going to rent for a week or two, get that ID tag made up, because if the dog gets away, we can at least find you.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't realized to actually put a little tag on them that says where you're staying. So one of those little cottages, or whatever town you might be moving to, you have that tag right on there for them.
That's correct.
Okay.
I mean, I had a classic example. The individual has 2 golden retrievers that got away. They were in the middle of one of the busiest roads out by the Cape Cod Airport area there, and the phone number on the tag was old. They had just changed it. And when I tried to explain to the gentleman, if you took that tag off, then we would have come right directly to you, versus the person that found the dog spending an hour being late for work and everything else, trying to contact you because they didn't want to involve animal control.
Right. So you get involved when, Good Samaritans pick up the animals and then can't find the owners, or they've posted on a Facebook page. They can't really keep the animal in their homes. So when you get involved, what happens to a missing pet when you pick them up?
Well, the first thing we do is check for identification on a collar, and the second thing is to scan it for a microchip.
Okay.
If it's got a microchip, we can possibly trace the owner as well, so long as it is registered properly. If someone moves, changes phone numbers, etc., they do have to notify the chip company and update their profile.
Okay, so that's really important, is to make sure that the chip profile is up to date.
Correct.
A lot of people, get new phone numbers, or they might have moved, and if that information is not right, it's very difficult to get a hold of.
And a lot of times people give the dog away, or they've taken, there's a separation in family, and one person may, take the dog. They lived in California, now they've returned home here to Cape Cod, and now we have no information on the dog. Right. The chip is useless to us at that point.
Right. What are some of the other tips for traveling with dogs? I know there was an unfortunate accident with dogs. They shouldn't be riding free in their cars, should they?
No, I always suggest getting the belt system. They sell them, they're fairly cheap. They do have to be fitted for each dog, but it's best that way, especially if you stop at a roadside rest area. It is the Massachusetts law that they have to be on a leash when they get out of the car in those areas. Many cities and towns, of course, have a separate leash law, but it is on any state highway, it's mandatory that the dog be leashed. So, and if you have a small enough dog, a crate is a great thing. It makes them relax. They don't get car sick. If they do, it's contained and it's very easy for one to clean up.
Right. And those leashes are really good too, because a lot of times when you stop at a rest stop or you stop, you know, to look at the beach, that dog just smells stuff and he wants to bolt. So if he's strapped into the car, he's not going to get out easily.
No, that's correct. And of course, the other thing is that if you do have an accident, or even if you have to slam the brakes on, the dog is going to stay on the seat and it's not going to go forward and roll. And, you know, very similar to a human. When you have a car accident and it rolls, that animal does the same thing as us. You're going to be all bruised on the inside. And we can't see those type of injuries. So the only way you can tell is through, you know, x-rays and things like that. It may be 3 or 4 days later before a dog has any kind of a sign or a symptom that there's something wrong.
Right. So. And what else do you suggest for people who come and they've rented the cottage for the week? What can they do with their dog that's safe here in Barnstable?
Well, number one is you can walk it any way you want on a leash, with the exception of town beaches and the pond areas, things like that. But we have some great conservation trails that are very, very nice to walk. You know, they maintain those things. And, you know, just walking on Main Street, but I do suggest that you not let your dog sniff other dogs, and also not to have, you know, a child runs up to the dog. Don't let them pet your dog. Right. You know, unless you have total control of your dog. You make your dog sick, and then introduce a child to the dog. That's one thing, because we don't want anybody to get bitten either while they're here.
Right, and it's all new to the dog. This is a different area. The smells are different. Sometimes even the pavement may be different underneath their feet, so they're a little disorientated.
Well, plus the temperature has a lot to do with it.
Right.
That asphalt heats up to probably 30, 40 degrees warmer than what the air temperature is.
Right, so carry a water bottle for your dog.
That's number one. I was going to say, you need to have a water bottle for yourself and your pet. You know, even if you have a cat and it likes to stay in the back window of the car, you really should have water available for the animals.
Excellent. So, any other tips before we end today, Charlie?
Well, I just one other thing. If someone is here for any length of time visiting, they come for the summer. We sell dog licenses for virtually no money. Right. And I do suggest to people that when they travel, of course, they should always have their rabies certificate with them. And it costs $10 for an unaltered dog for a dog license in the town of Barnstable. If you're here for 2 months, it's not a bad idea to pick up that tag. Even though it's not mandatory because you've got a tag from another town, it will help us find you even quicker because we carry that information with us in the vehicle.
That's a great idea. Yeah. So you can license them here if you're here as a summer resident.
Yep. And even at 2 o'clock in the morning, someone will call up the police station. They'll have the tag number. And they don't have a database available to them, but I do at home. And the PD will call me, and I'll look up the information, and then they'll call the owner. So we get back a few dogs at night like that. It really helps having that tag on the dog.
Excellent. Great idea, Charlie.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in today.
Okay, certainly. Enjoy the summer.
Next week is Swim Safety Week for Barnstable Recreation, and it's a chance to see our lifeguards in action. At every beach in Barnstable, they will be demonstrating their safety and life-saving training for the swim classes and general public. Here in Barnstable, we think we have the best lifeguards on Cape Cod. Swim and Safety Week is coming up next week, and with me, Barnstable Recreation, Coley and Tim, you guys got a whole week of showcasing what our lifeguards do. I think this is a fantastic idea. Tell us a little bit about what Swim and Safety Week is.
So Swim and Safety Week is when our lifeguards demonstrate the different rescues and CPR and first aid. It started out initially just at our swim lesson beaches, and now it's at all of the town of Barnstable beaches.
So when you say demonstrate, we know that lifeguards drill every morning. I mean, last week was a perfect example of them using those skills with something at Colville Beach. But there's all sorts of different evolutions for this, for drills. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So during Swim and Safety Week, you'll see our lifeguards doing what we call mock rescues. So they're practicing rescues that it could be an active drowning, or it could be a spinal cord injury, head, neck, back injury, or it could even be something that our gate attendants are doing out in the parking lot. So it's an opportunity for them to practice and for the public to see our lifeguards in action, see the training that they do, and maybe even get involved in it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. So young kids, I mean, stuff like this is pretty traumatic for them to see if they don't understand it. So tell me how a child seeing this is why this is a good thing.
Right, exactly. So the whole reason behind this is to get our swim lesson kids and anybody on the beach, it gives them an opportunity to see our emergency action plan in progress. So they'll hear that one long whistle blast, they'll see the lifeguard exit the tower, and then we'll have a rescue dummy or a staff or volunteer be that victim, and it gives the kids an opportunity to see that, okay, all right, this is a scary moment, but we know what to do because our swim instructor is here with us. They're telling us what to do. They're going to practice getting out of the water, go into a safe area, and everything's going to be okay. That, yes, it's a scary moment that we're practicing for, but with this training, it gives the kids a little opportunity to say, okay, we've seen this before. It's just another drill, and everything's going to work out.
Right, and that may capture the imagination of some of these kids that are coming up through middle school into high school to be a lifeguard.
That's the hope, is that our kids can progress all the way through our level 6 advanced progressive swimming into junior lifeguarding, and then hopefully taking our lifeguarding course, and then they can work for us.
Right.
That's the long-term goal.
Excellent. So some of these evolutions, it's kind of funny. People think that, you always see the videos of just, somebody with the corner lock and they're just pulling people. But lifeguarding is so much more than that. Tell us about some of those evolutions.
So we do all sorts of different rescues, and the Red Cross is constantly changing and upgrading their techniques, and so we're doing the same. Even just last year, they had a big update with a lot of their rescues and approaches changed. So our old staff that have been here for some of them as long as 22 years on the beach gives them an opportunity to learn the new skill and to practice it.
Okay, and that's CPR, it's using first aid, which, it's not all in the water, right?
Right. Most of what we deal with is out of the water, whether it's someone coming up for a jellyfish sting, stubbing a toe, falling down in the parking lot, whatever it may be, cutting their foot on a shell. That's majority of what we deal with instead of in the water rescues.
Right, that's amazing. And tell us a little bit, so you've opened it up to all the beaches this year. Why is that?
We just want the general public, our residents and our visitors, to see the training that our lifeguards go through, that it's not just them sitting on the tower enforcing rules, saying no ball playing and things like that, that they're there for the public safety. And we want to showcase what our lifeguards do on a daily basis to be prepared for anything.
Right. And when you look at the kids swimming and when they see this, what's their reaction?
We've had a lot of kids sign up for junior lifeguarding, and we hope that they continue on to lifeguarding. And the ones that have come from junior lifeguarding and take lifeguarding hope to work for us in the future. So that's exciting.
And that's your little kids that are, they're out there just learning the breaststroke and all the other swim kind of skills, and all of a sudden there's dreams of lifeguarding.
Yeah.
That's a great program. So this runs July 16th through the 19th, all next week. What time?
So it varies site to site.
Okay.
We will have announcements at every beach prior to starting whatever rescue or first aid that they're going to be doing, so that people can gather behind the tower, wherever, or off to the side of the beach or at the bathhouse, wherever it may be held. There will be an announcement about it so that we can get as many people watching as possible, because that's really what we want, is the most eyes on our lifeguards, so that the public can see what the town of Barnstable lifeguards are all about.
Right, and if you want to hold up your Swim and Safety Week, they can find this information on your Facebook page?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, on the Facebook page.
So on the Facebook page, it'll give you the beach, it'll give you the evolution of what they're practicing.
Yep.
And, you know, there's a lot of practice and hopefully not a lot of rescues and not a lot of issues at the beach. But there's a huge competition that comes up, and Barnstable's like right in there. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So August 10th, we have the Cape Cod Life-Saving Competition. And this year we're lucky enough to be hosting it at Craigville Beach. It gets started about at 10 o'clock. So it's really just the best day of the summer for a lot of our lifeguards. That's what they work for. That's why one of the reasons they love doing their workouts every day at the beach is to get ready for this lifeguard competition. So it's really a great opportunity to compete against lifeguards from all over the Cape.
Right, and that's open to the public. People can come and watch how all of these young folks, not all young, but the majority of really all the work that they put in year after year, summer after summer.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
25 years ago, a few young men wanted to start an a cappella group and sing their way across Cape Cod. The Boys of Summer, the Hyannis Sound, are celebrating their silver anniversary this year, and we found them on the town green doing what they do best. At last, they are home for the summer.
So my name is Jason Burke. I'm the business manager of Hyannis Sound for 2018. It's my 4th summer singing with this group of guys. Very, very happy to be back. So the group was actually started in 1994 by 10 ambitious young guys who were like, let's see if we can get a cappella to work on Cape Cod. They came down with no performances scheduled. They didn't really have a place to live. They didn't really know each other. It was kind of this big risk that they all took. So they all came down, got day jobs, as you know, worked during the day, rehearsed at night, kind of went around and begged people to sing for them, and slowly over time it's gained this momentum, and it's kind of turned into what it is today, which is now a full-time job. We perform all summer long. We only take 2 days off. So it's really cool. They worked really hard, and we stand on the shoulders of the guys before us. That's something that we like to remember, and we're very close with our alumni, and we're very grateful for all the work they put in. I think that's an interesting question, because I think depending on who you ask, you'll get a different answer. There's a lot of reasons why people choose a cappella, and specifically why people love the Hyannis Sound. For me, the biggest aspect is, like I was talking about, that family aspect. You get to come down, and it's this immense community of people. We have 7 to 10 new sets of parents as soon as you get into the group. They take really good care of us. And it's just kind of an unforgettable experience to meet 9 people that you probably wouldn't have met in the first place, and to become really, really close with them and with all of the alumni. But I know people find meaning in different places. A lot of guys come down for the music. Some people come for the family. Some people come because they love to perform. Everybody has different things that they're looking to get out of it, and that's, I think, one of the coolest parts, is it's this common experience that everyone else gets something unique out of. So I think that's kind of the way I think about it. So we have a weekly concert series. So every Monday we're in Falmouth at the First Congregational Church on Main Street at 7 p.m. Tuesdays we're in Chatham at St. Christopher's Episcopal Church, also on Main Street, also at 7 p.m. Thursdays we're in Dennis at the Dennis Union Church at 7. And then Fridays we start a little later. We're here in Hyannis at 8 p.m. and that's at the Federated Church on Main Street. We also have a ton of rotating shows. You can find all of that information online at hyannissound.org.
My love has come along and my lonely days are over, and life is like a song. Oh yeah, at last the skies above are blue, and my heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at
I could speak to, a dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I had never known. Oh yeah, you smile, whoa, and then the spell was cast, and here we are in heaven. For you are mine at last. I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I have never known. Oh, you smile, and then the spell was cast. Here we are in heaven. For you are mine at at
In the height of the summer here in Barnstable, there are so many cool music, art, and community events happening. Here is one for your creative side, and it's free. Join the New Classics Company founder, Brett Burkhart, in an afternoon of cardboard fun. Brett will be demonstrating techniques in sculpting cardboard for use as stage props. Bring an idea of something you might want to build and some cardboard, and spend the afternoon making your dreams a reality. With cardboard. The workshop is Sunday, July 15th from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Geyer Barn, 237 South Street, Hyannis. The Town Green, the Harbor Overlook, and Bismore Park all have jam-packed fun too. A pizza fest on the green on Saturday, music everywhere, and our creative economy on display at the Hyannis Arts Shanties. Head over to artsbarnstable.com to plan your weekend of fun in Barnstable. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.